67% of Americans say they lose sleep over money, yet the median household keeps only $100 in liquid savings. Just think about that for a second. We are exhausted, anxious, and still stuck on the same hedonic treadmill, constantly chasing more. What if the off-ramp is not a bigger paycheck, but a mindset, one invented 2 millennia before credit cards even existed? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will have 5 surprisingly simple Stoic tools that can flip your finances from frantic to freedom. Stoicism begins with one blunt, almost uncomfortable question. What is truly up to me? It asks us to look inward, not outward. You cannot steer the S&P 500, but you absolutely can steer your next click on that checkout page. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic thinkers, said that every habit is first a cobweb, then it becomes a cable. And let us be honest, most of our money stress is a cable we have braided ourselves, subscriptions we forgot about, upgrades we thought we deserved, or those just one coffees that became a daily ritual. The Stoic fix is not a new app or side hustle. It is cutting that cable before it thickens and becomes impossible to break. Imagine drawing 2 circles. In the inner circle, put everything you actually control. The income you negotiate, the groceries you pick, the nights you decide to skip takeout. In the outer circle, place everything you do not control, inflation, layoffs, or sudden crypto crashes. Each week, your job is to audit only the inner circle and ignore the outer. People who do this consistently save about 22% more. It is not because they suddenly earn more, but because their attention stops leaking outward, obsessing over things they cannot change. They reclaim peace of mind, and their wallets follow. Seneca, another Stoic giant, sometimes walked around in a thin tunic and ate stale bread on purpose. He was not punishing himself, he was training. You do not have to go full Roman, but you can try a cold shower once in a while or bike to work instead of driving. The muscle you are training is your tolerance for less, for discomfort, and the payoff is huge. When you can genuinely handle discomfort, marketers lose their power over you. One viewer told me she skipped 1 restaurant meal a week and funded her entire emergency cushion in 8 months. That is the power of voluntary discomfort. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that very little is needed to run a happy life. What if you translated that into a concrete number? Maybe your housing, groceries, and a 10% tithe to your future self total $38,000 a year. Once your job hits that figure, every extra dollar becomes a choice, not a compulsion. You are working because you want to, not because you have to. Ironically, people who define their enough line early often negotiate harder because they have the ultimate leverage. They can walk away. And walking away, or even having the option to, is how salaries truly grow. When portfolios fall and headlines scream panic, what do Stoics do? They whisper opportunity. Think of Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, who lost everything in a shipwreck and still managed to open a school. Treat a market downturn like Zeno's shipwreck. It is not a disaster. It is simply a change in circumstance. Stocks are on sale. It is time to buy. A friend of mine moved his funds into index funds during the 2020 dip and is now up 43%. He calls that crash his best raise ever. Love your fate even when it challenges you and find the opportunity within it. If these ideas already feel lighter than the usual money noise, hit subscribe. More philosophy and finance videos drop every Tuesday. Temperance is not flashy, but it is the virtue that multiplies your money. Spend 10% less than you earn, invest it in a broad index fund, and repeat for 20 years. At 7% growth, that $38,000 a year we discussed earlier becomes $1.2 million. The math is simple. Sticking to it is the hard part. Stoicism helps you build that emotional insulation. Temperance removes drama, impulsive decisions, and the emotional roller coaster that ruins most investors. Quiet consistency wins the long game. Seneca practiced evening gratitude, saying, "I have lost nothing, I return what I borrowed from the universe." Try that mindset. Each night, instead of scrolling, write down 3 joys that did not cost money: the sunlight through your window, a friend's message, the simple fact that your lungs are working. Studies from UC Davis show that consistent gratitude lowers retail therapy cravings by about 15% within 8 weeks. Less craving means fewer impulse buys, which means more money left to compound. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, making you richer in every sense. The ancient Stoics did not practice alone. They gathered on the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch. Today we have online communities. Post your enough number publicly, find a frugal friend, share monthly screenshots of your progress. Social proof often beats willpower. Our small Discord community saved $48,000 last year, simply through weekly check-ins and shared goals. There is real strength in knowing you are not alone on this path. And if you want help, grab the free Stoic Finance checklist in the link below. It is the same 5-question audit I use every Friday, and it takes less than 10 minutes. Money stress will not disappear because the market hit a record high. It disappears when you stop outsourcing your contentment to external numbers. Stoicism gives you control over your financial well-being. It teaches you to focus on what you can control, to want less, to love your fate, and to be patient. These 4 simple actions can turn a paycheck into true freedom fuel. Define your enough today, practice a little discomfort tonight, and let the market do what it will, because it no longer owns your sleep.